everyone, I'm Stephanie Sy in New York, and welcome to this edition of Money Matters. Well, it's that time of year again, tax time. And if you are one of the many Americans that are putting off filing, you'll be happy to know there are some tools to make your life much easier, and at a fraction of the cost of hiring a tax preparer. There are some things you need to keep in mind, though, to make sure you get the job done right. So joining us live from Washington, D.C. to tell us everything we need to know is ABC's Andrea Smith. Andrea, thanks so much for joining us. I just put my tax return in the mailbox this morning. I feel so old-fashioned. Which people are good? Can everyone e-file?
Well, you know, everyone can e-file. It's a matter of should you e-file. And the IRS says about 6%, there's a 6% increase in the number of people who have filed their taxes from home computers from last year to this year. And the thing is, if you have a not very complicated return, if you have a mortgage, investment properties, donations, deductions, you can use software and save yourself a lot of money from going to a tax preparer.
Okay, so let's go through some of the software options. TurboTax, we hear a lot about it, offers both an online and an iPad version of their software. What are the pros and cons of that deal?
Well, TurboTax is one of the most popular one. They have a deluxe version, they have a premier version, and again, it's all based on what you need. If you have investment properties, if you have a business, you're going to want to go with the desktop versions and use it that way. But TurboTax has branched out. They do have an iPad version this year, and it just is a matter of what's easy for you. If you can do a 1040 easy, you can probably do it a lot quicker on an iPad because you don't need to get so complicated, and you also might not need to import last year's data. You might not need to import a whole lot of information from other areas on your computer.
Okay. H&R Block's package, I understand, offers live help. How does that work?
Yeah, these are all different. H&R Block, you know, these are the people, the trusted people that you go to get your taxes done. So they offer you a home component. When you buy this package, you get one conversation with a tax expert.
Okay.
So they give you a little bit of hand-holding, and again, they offer a premium version, a deluxe version, and a basic version. And the same thing for TaxAct. TaxAct is really good. It's the least expensive of all the software programs. They offer a free federal edition for filing. But if you need a lot of hand-holding, this is probably not the version for you.
Okay, but if you know what you're doing, it's free. That's good.
Exactly.
You talked about the iPad. There are, I understand, also some smartphone apps to check on your return.
Yes, there are. And first, there are also, TurboTax has something called SnapTax. So if you are part of what they call the mobile generation, you can use your iPhone to actually file your taxes, which is amazing this year. Yeah. If you can just do a 1040 easy, which means you have no deductions, you're just standard, here's your W-2, you can take your iPhone or an Android phone, take a picture of your W-2, it imports all the information, fills it out for you, you answer a few questions, and just like that, your return is done, and you e-file right from your phone.
Wow, they can do that these days? Those are smartphones.
Yeah, they can do that for about $20.
Okay, that was going to be my next question. If you're cost conscious about filing your taxes, what is the best option for you?
Well, you can do that if you can do a 1040 easy. Again, if you don't need a lot of hand-holding, TaxAct is good software. And if you do need hand-holding, you can try the deluxe version of these softwares because they really walk you through the interview process, a lot of steps, and they're really quite thorough.
What benefit does filing electronically offer as opposed to paper filing?
Yeah, so here's the deal. If you're owed money, you want to e-file because you're going to get your money back in as little as 8 days if you use direct deposit. 8 days as opposed to up to 6 weeks. When did you put yours in the mail?
Today.
6 weeks. And that's provided you've remembered to sign it because a lot of people forget to do that.
I did do that, Andrea.
Oh, good.
We should say, though, given the topic of the day, the government shutdown could hold up both paper and electronic tax refunds. We'll have to see if that happens or not.
Very true.
For all of the procrastinators out there, let's get into some of your last-minute tips. One of them is don't panic, right? There are ways to get your taxes in on time this year.
Well, here's the thing. On time is not April 15th this year.
That's right.
Guess what? It's April 18th. There is an extra weekend. I'm told that 27% of people wait for the last 2 weeks to do their taxes. One of them. So there's an extra weekend, and that's because here in D.C., April 15th is something called Emancipation Day.
Right.
And when that happens, it's treated as a federal holiday because it's tax day. So the whole country gets to do their taxes one extra weekend.
So there's no excuses this year. The other tip you have, Andrea, is that if you are one of the 9.4% of Americans unemployed, you must still file tax returns?
Yes, that's right. A lot of people don't realize this. When you get unemployment, that money is taxable. You do have to pay taxes on it. So you are still required to do that. But the other news is if you need to file an extension for any reason, you can do that as well. And a lot of these software programs that I mentioned will let you file an extension for free. But if you owe money, you still need to pay the money on time or the government will charge you interest.
Okay, so you can file for a 6-month extension, but you still have to write the check within the deadline of the 18th.
Correct.
Okay.
You still have to write the check, but you have 6 months to prepare the return.
Okay. Now, the other tip that you have is to double check your data. Like you said, make sure you sign it, but there are other things that people need to be aware of too, right?
Absolutely. I mean, if you do your taxes, with a software program, the numbers will look good, they'll do the math, but you really need to go over your information because if there's anything wrong, anything transposed, anything left out, that will hold up your return.
And, going back to the issue of the 18th, I understand that not all the states are pushing the deadline to the 18th. There are some variations. Are there some
Yes.
states that still have the 15th?
Well, interestingly enough, 2 states, Maine and Massachusetts, the 18th is a holiday. It's Patriots' Day, so they push it to the 19th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then Tennessee, I think,
Is the 15th.
is still the 15th. Yeah. So statewide, you really have to be careful because that's different than federal holidays.
Okay, ABC News technology reporter Andrea Smith, we appreciate it. Some very timely advice. Thanks for the tips.
Thank you.
And that's all the Money Matters for now. I'm Stephanie Tsai in New York. Stay tuned for more news that's good to know. Thanks for watching.